Hey, welcome to NFL Sunday divisional round of the playoffs, take two. Hopefully you enjoyed yesterday's activity. Welcome back. If you're watching on YouTube or on Facebook, I am Sean Starr with Gerry B, the Prop King. Gerry, what it do, baby?
Just getting ready for this Sunday. I mean, yesterday was pretty special, but I mean, today I'm pretty excited for today.
Jesus Christ. Blocked punt, Gerry. Fuck. Gerry, I was that far away from going 8-0 against the spread in the playoffs, and a blocked punt at Lambeau Field. Yesterday, you and I were talking about, like, there was no chance Aaron Rodgers was going to lose at home. Remember what I said? If he lost at home, he was done as a Packer. Gerry,
Yep.
he lost another playoff game at Lambeau. Like, what now?
He just walked off the field too. I don't know if you noticed it, but right after the game, usually the quarterbacks, they shake hands, they go see the other coach. He literally just walked to the tunnel and he just said, "Hey, take care, Green Bay. I'm going." So, so now I don't know what's next for Aaron Rodgers. I'm wondering how or what he's thinking. But I mean, wow, a turn of events yesterday, though. Just Green Bay dominated the whole game. I mean, Garoppolo couldn't throw a pass. I think he had 15 passes that could have gotten intercepted, and they still won the game. So, I mean, that's football. That's betting. It's a wonderful, wonderful world.
It is. And before we move on to today's two games, the Bengals and the Titans yesterday, we had the Bengals and the points on the road in
Hmm.
Tennessee. I mean, we could talk about, Ryan Tannehill's performance, but for me, the takeaway in the aftermath of the Titans as the number one seed in the AFC bowing out after one and done, I think Mike Vrabel and the coaching staff shit the bed on Saturday afternoon. I thought that was a conservative, unimaginative, and it ended up costing them coaching
Hmm.
performance more than Ryan Tannehill.
Oh, 100%. I think they really emphasize on giving the ball to Derrick Henry.
Mm.
His longest rush yesterday was 9 yards, but they kept trying to feed him, but he didn't get the job done. And then you have to put the game into Tannehill's hands. And look what Tannehill did in the last 20 seconds.
Yeah, he doesn't cover the 237 and a half passing yards. He falls like almost 20 yards short of that.
Mm-hmm.
We did give you the Derrick Henry touchdown prop, which did cash yesterday, and the Bengals and the points and that cashed yesterday. So we rolled to 7-0 against the spread. The George Kittle prop bet, man, we just fell half a reception short,
Mm-hmm.
thinking that Jimmy G was going to feed him the ball. He ends the game with 4 receptions. The line was 4.5, over under 4.5. So that doesn't cash. Aaron Jones. Oh my
Oh, what a
God. He was
game. What
right.
a game.
Dude, did you think he was going to lead the Packers in receiving yards?
Not at all. Like I said yesterday, I thought Devontae Adams was going to have a huge game. I mean, 9 catches, 90 yards is still a pretty fair game, but I expected maybe 140, 150 yards. But Aaron Jones, 129 yards, I think. 9 catches,
Yeah,
129 yards. I mean, what a game receiving. He couldn't run the ball, though, but receiving wise, he was a superstar.
indeed. So from yesterday's two winners, anybody there you're comfortable putting a future bet on as far as a Super Bowl? Anyone? The two winners yesterday, Cincinnati. You comfortable throwing a future bet on them to win the Super Bowl?
One thing I could admit is Joe Burrow impressed me because he wasn't flashy. He didn't throw any touchdowns, had one interception, but he managed the game yesterday like a veteran yesterday. And he impressed me the most. And I mean, he is the real deal. I mean, yesterday you kept talking about how you're a big fan of Joe Burrow. I see it now. Now I see that he might end up being a top 5 quarterback within the next 2 years. He's top 5 for sure in the AFC.
Wild, right? Looking at the future market, if you're looking at odds-ons to win the Super Bowl this year, I'm trying to get the future market up. I can't seem to pull it up, but Kansas City still odds-on at 3.5 to 1. Buffalo and Tampa Bay at 4 to 1. We're going to see what happens in both of those games. The Bills, the late game at 6:30. The Bucks and the Rams at Tampa. My friend who is at Tampa will be at the game today.
Ooh.
Was texting me yesterday talking about it is cold, Florida cold. Look, it's not like we're here in Montreal where it's like minus 8 million degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
He was telling me in Tampa for the game today it's gonna be like 14 to 16
Oh,
degrees.
wow.
So for Tampa, Florida, it's not like the warmest weather. And the 49ers under 5 to 1, 4.5 to 1. I mean, you watched that defense yesterday. That defense did a lot of heavy lifting for the San Francisco 49ers. And then the Rams and the Bengals at plus 675 at betonline.ag as far as
Mhm.
the future markets are concerned. I think today I mean, we're going to find out. Kansas City and Buffalo are going to square off tonight at 6:30. But for me, the future markets, both teams, 49ers, Bengals, I wouldn't trust my money
No.
with either of those teams as far as the future markets are concerned. Jerry, you ready to get into today's two games?
Let's get into today's two games. Very excited for them.
Yes, me too. So we're referencing our odds from betonline.ag. Let's tackle the first game, obviously, with the LA Rams +3 at -116. The Bucks laying the 3 points -104. The money line, if you're fancy, I think both of these games are valuable money line plays on either side. The Rams +126, the Bucks -146 on the money line, and over under Jerry at 48.5. The under -112, the over 108. So why don't you lead us off today? What direction are you going to take us in? The first game at 3 o'clock today, the Rams taking 3 at Tampa Bay. What are you doing?
At the beginning of the week, I was all about the Rams at +3 money line. I thought, or I thought that the Rams are going to not run away with it, but this team is built to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's why they got Von Miller. They went out to get Odell. They needed to compete with the Buccaneers to get out of the NFC. But I feel like everybody's on the Rams right now. Everybody is on the Rams. So I'm leaning towards the Buccaneers to win, and I like the over. I actually like the over in both games. I think both games will be high scoring. I don't think the Rams will run the ball a lot, even though Cam Akers had a huge game last week. And I don't think the Buccaneers will run the ball a lot as well, too. So I see a lot of passing. I see a lot of high passing yards for both quarterbacks as well, too.
Jerry, as you can see on the screen there, some comments are coming in. We're broadcasting live on our YouTube channel and our Facebook page. Football Fan 28. Last night, we learned that ivermectin is not a performance-enhancing drug, as Rodgers had the antibodies that prevent him from getting the Super Bowl trophy. Man, he's taking a fucking beating on social media. Oh, my God.
But even before the game yesterday, he said something about Biden as well, too, right? So Rodgers just keeps digging himself into a hole. I mean, I think he should go away for 2-3 weeks and just disappear.
And that's like you pointed out, right? He didn't even shake hands. He left in the tunnel. We saw Aaron Rodgers 12 in the back of the jersey walk through the tunnel. I think for the last time as a Green Bay Packer. Okay, so my first prop bet of the day is going to go to Matt Stafford, looking to get to his first conference championship game. Tom Brady is looking for conference championship appearance number 15. Yeah. So if we go back to week 3. The Rams beat the Bucks by 10 points. It was a 34-24 shootout. Tampa was number 3 at the time at stopping the run during the regular season, 92.5 yards allowed per game. So what does that tell me? That tells me Matt Stafford and that fearless arm of his is going to be back in primetime display today. Mm-hmm. So I think if Tampa, and this is what I expect, I think the Bucks are going to get ahead. And you know what that means. The running game goes away. The passing game steps up to the forefront. And I think that obviously amplifies the need for Stafford and the Rams to throw the ball. So at betonline.ag, to get at least 280 passing yards, it's -115. And I think Stafford, by the way, and don't get too carried away. There's you can get plus money at Stafford over 300 passing yards.
Yes.
This season, Stafford has just one game where he threw and passed for over 300 yards.
Yes.
So I don't think that's going to happen in the NFC divisional game. So I'm going to stay just under that and kind of play the middle. So I think he's going to get at least 280. I'm going to lay a little juice, -115.
No, I like that bet. He needs to throw the ball today. Today, to win, to beat the Buccaneers, they have a strong front defensive line. It's going to be hard to run the ball. And I mean, he might pass the ball at least 40 times. I think the first time that they played in week 3, as you brought up, I think he only threw the ball 33 times, 32 times, compared to Tom Brady's 55 times when they played each other. But I like Stafford a lot, and I like the players or the wide receivers that are playing with Stafford to put up some stats. And that's why I'm very big on Van Jefferson today, the wide receiver that's replacing Robert Woods, or who replaced Robert Woods about, I believe, week 10, week 9. Little by little, he's showing signs that he's getting the ball a lot more. Stafford has more confidence in him. I think Van Jefferson is going to have a huge game today. That's my player prop for everything, almost, Van Jefferson. And the odds for him are just insane. He has some plus 3,300, plus 3,700. And that's just getting 100 yards and a touchdown. So, I mean, those are my favorite prop bets for the Rams.
And again, just to remind people, if you're working with a certain set amount in your bankroll, Jerry, again, for prop bets like that one, for the Van Jefferson plus 3,300, you're not unloading at plus 3,300.
Oh, no, never.
What are you, so if you're working with whatever your bankroll is, what percentage are you advising people on these Van Jefferson props?
Basically, if you have $100, you want to use 5 to 10% of that money. Yesterday, some of the props that I brought up did not hit. But see, today, if you still have $50, you could throw in like a little $5 on Van Jefferson, for example. I have one right here to get 70 receiving yards with 1 touchdown at plus 1,200.
Right.
Throw a little $5 right there. You'll end up being plus. And the one that I like the most, and I find it is a Van Jefferson at plus 100, or to get more than 100 receiving yards, 1 touchdown, and a Rams win. If you believe the Rams are going to win, that's at plus 3,300. If you want, throw a little $5. There's no sure things in the betting world. You could see it yesterday. The Packers are up by 7 with 3 minutes left, and they kick or they punt. There's a block punt, tie game. Anything could happen in betting. And today, I believe Jefferson will get over 100 yards. I'm not saying it's a sure thing. Like I said, this is just our opinions. We're providing information, and that's the difference between an opinion and information. Everybody has their own opinion. My opinion is Van Jefferson will get over 100 yards, and there's tons of prop plays for Van Jefferson that I find at plus 3,300, plus 1,200, 120 yards, 1 touchdown, plus 3,700. So if Van Jefferson puts up numbers that Robert Woods put up when he was playing, this could hit today. There's a possibility of it hitting, and you cash in from that.
You have any single prop bets that you're not tying in with, whether it's a money line play or the player also needs a touchdown? Any Van Jefferson single player prop bets you like?
I saw his receiving yards just to get 100 receiving yards. I believe at 70, it was just plus 240, I believe. I have to go back and see that. But the one prop bet that I like is both teams to score over 24.5 points at plus 275.
Yeah, if we're thinking of, if both guys are going to put the ball in the air, I like Stafford to throw for at least 280 yards today. Obviously, targets are going to be primary. Van Jefferson is on your radar. I do like that one. Both teams to score over 24.5 points. BetOnline.ag giving you what odds on that one?
Plus 275 for that one. I really like that. It's almost 3-1. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, and especially if you're telling me the weather in Tampa Bay is around between 14 degrees Celsius to 20 degrees Celsius, the air is smooth. The ball is going to fly today.
Yeah, and you know what? And to that end, right, I think the question we're going to ask ourselves is, who are you going to buy into more in this Rams-Bucks game? Are you going to buy into the Rams pass rush, or are you going to buy into Brady's pass game and his ability to react to the pass rush? And I think if you have an answer to that question, it probably takes you in a clear direction of who you think is going to win this game. I'm going to look for Tom Brady prop bets with one of his favorite targets, Rob Gronkowski. Now, obviously, Antonio Brown's not there. Chris Godwin is another one that's not going to be there. His season is over. That limits the targets, obviously, for Tom. Terrific. And who does he look to in his time of need? His security blanket, baby Huey himself, Rob Gronkowski. So here's the tail of the tape for Gronk. He's been targeted 26 times total over his last 3 games, so averaging just over 6 receptions per game in that span. BetOnline.ag, if you're looking at Gronk at least 6 receptions in this game, you can get 8 or 9. I don't think he's going to be targeted at least 9 times in this game, let alone catch 9 balls. We're going to lay a little bit of a juice, but at least 6 receptions, BetOnline.ag at minus 156. I think he's going to be Tom Brady's go-to target in this game for the reasons of, no Antonio Brown, no Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, is going to be all over the place. And Gronk, again, in these close quarter games, big target, hard to tackle. I think he's an easy target for Tom Brady. So we're going to go with Gronk at least 6 receptions, Jerry.
Oh, I like that a lot because if you look back at week 3 when Tom Brady threw the ball 55 times, I believe 35 of those passes were within 10 yards because of the pass rush that the Rams could have on Brady. And especially, it depends if that offensive tackle, Witz, ends up playing for the Buccaneers. That is
Right.
the key stat. If he doesn't play, Tom Brady's going to have to get the ball out of his hands pretty quick. And Rob Gronkowski, like I said, he's the security blanket. He'll end up getting some targets, and he'll need to make some plays.
You know, when it comes to a side in this game, I'm having I think I know who's going to win the game. And, you know, with the point spread being a field goal, you could buy it down if you want to buy the hook at two and a
Yeah.
half. It'll take you down to minus 129 at betonline.ag. Just know this about the game. The Rams in this spot have covered just 2 of their last 7. Now they're in Tampa Bay. The Bucs roll over and beat up everybody, and they have all year. Their average margin of victory in their home games is 17 points. I'm going to bank on experience. I'm going to bank on the football IQ of Tom Brady. I don't think Brady is stressing the Rams pass rush. He's seen it countless times in his career. I think he knows how to adapt, knows how to react. I'm going to buy. I'm going to buy the half point, bring it down to 2.5. I'm going to lay the 2.5, and the Bucs win back to the NFC Championship game.
And I'm with you on that. Like I said, at the beginning of the week, I was all over the Rams, but I feel like the whole world is on the Rams. They are one of the hottest teams. I mean, defensively and offensively. Watched them last week against the Arizona Cardinals. They dominated the game against Arizona. But coming to Tampa, Tom Brady, a week off. Tom Brady, after a bye week, he puts up some pretty nasty numbers, let's just say. And I think I'm with you. They'll cover even the -3, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And it will come down to Stafford, maybe a last-minute drive to try to win the game, to score a touchdown. They won't need a field goal to tie the game. They'll need a touchdown to either win or tie the game. So
Mm-hmm.
I like the Buccaneers a lot as well, too.
I'm going to put a little something on the over 48.5 in this game, too. To Jerry's point, I think both teams are going to score over 24 points. So that's plus 275 as a prop bet. I'm going to bank on Matt Stafford over 281 passing yards and Rob Gronkowski at least 6 receptions. So a couple of different player prop bets, and of course a side. Jerry, your best bets for this game before we move to the Bills and Chiefs.
Like I said, the one that I really like is the Van Jefferson 70+ yards and 1 touchdown at plus 1,200. I know it's a high odd. Put $5 on it, but I really believe Van Jefferson will have a huge game today for the Rams, and there's a lot of props. Even for him, if you believe he'll get 100 yards at a touchdown, plus 2,400. And if you believe the Rams will win the game and he gets 100 yards and a touchdown, plus 3,300. So these odds are huge. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. No, because people will sway away when they see plus
for sure.
2,500, plus 3,000. Oh, this will never hit. These odds are put out for a reason. There is a chance, and that is what we all want.
Thanks for watching on our YouTube channel and Facebook. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Throw a comment. We're doing this live, so we're going to obviously be able to see your comments, react. What are some of your best bets for the first game with the Rams at Tampa Bay? The weather is going to be a little chilly for Tampa Bay weather, but nothing that I think is going to prevent these guys from lighting it up. Jerry and I both are leaning on the over, and both it's really a square play, the over and the favorite. So we're going to lay the points and cheer. Who likes cheering for defense, right? And that's been the trend. Unders have been really crushing in the playoffs so far.
Mm-hmm. No, especially yesterday. Yesterday was really weird. They got to the 50-yard line. Both teams got to the 50-yard line, but it's like they couldn't pass that 50-yard line. It seems like the defenses are like, okay, we have to tighten up. Let's stop them at the 50. But I don't see that happening today with both games.
I love, you know, when we did our Saturday preview and our best bets, you can watch that on our YouTube channel. You and I are both on the same page here. We're chomping at the bit, ready for the 6:30 kickoff between the Buffalo Bills at Kansas City Chiefs. The line's down to basically a pick 'em. The Chiefs are laying a point at minus 113. You're backing the Bills +1 at minus 107 on the money line. Bills 102 minus 102. Kansas City minus 118. And an over-under here at 54.5 at minus 110. Your odds online at betonline.ag. It's a rematch, Jerry, of last year's AFC Championship game. The Bills are at Kansas City at 6:30 at Arrowhead. Patrick Mahomes, fourth in the NFL in passing yards at just over 4,800. Josh Allen, eighth at 4,400. The Chiefs have won 9 of their last 10. The Bills go in on a 5-game winning streak. I mean, this is
What a game.
unbelievable. I mean, do you see this game staying under? Let's start here. Do you see this game, as I told you, the points, the streaks, the yardages for both quarterbacks, do you see this game staying under 54.5 points, or are we seeing a shootout?
Unless both teams decide to run the ball 50 times or 40 times, I don't see this game staying under. I mean, even though last week the Buffalo Bills got Devin Singletary involved more in the rushing game, he had a huge game last week. But I think that was the only way that the Buffalo Bills could have won the game, was having a rushing offense. I have 54.5. It's so technically they're basically saying that it will end up being a 28-24 game, a 30-27 game. I see both teams scoring almost 30 points.
Hey now, I love that. I really, you know what? If what you're saying is true, that we're going to get at least 25 points from each side in the Rams-Bucks game, and maybe 30 aside in this game, it's exactly what we need. Because look, I mean, the wild card round, the 6 games in the wild card, I thought we had one good game. We had awesome drama yesterday in the National Football League. So if we can get 2 shootouts from 4 powerhouse teams, I mean, oh my God. I mean, this is exactly what we need.
I mean, look at the quarterbacks who are playing today, except maybe for Matthew Stafford might be the worst one out of the 4. You have Tom Brady, Pat Mahomes, and Josh Allen. You have 3 of the top 5 quarterbacks literally in the NFL playing today.
Yeah.
And that's how you win championships. It's a quarterback play. So, I mean, today should be really exciting.
So let's get into some player prop bets, okay? Looking at Travis Kelce a lot, seeing how healthy and how dominant he is again. We know he had his bout with COVID-19 in December. Yeah. He missed some time, a good chunk of time, as a matter of fact, with the Kansas City Chiefs. Kelce hasn't really looked like himself. I've seen other tight ends kind of take over the mantle as being the dominant tight end in the National Football League. He had 5 receptions for 25 yards in the loss to the Bengals, and 4 catches for 34 yards in a win over the Broncos. And he did score a touchdown in each of those games. Now, when I look at Travis Kelce, last Sunday when the Chiefs beat the Steelers 42-21, and of course I loved Kelce in that game. I loved the Chiefs in that game. He had 5 receptions for 105 yards and a touchdown, and he also threw a touchdown pass on a trick play in that game, right? So betonline.ag, Travis Kelce to get at least 71 receiving yards in this game. No reason to think otherwise. If you're like Jerry and I thinking that we're going to see a shootout, look at these quarterbacks. Look at the numbers that they have put up this season. Travis Kelce, at least 71 receiving yards at minus 114. So that's my best player prop bet version 1.0. Jerry, what do you got?
I have 2, just because Tyreek Hill has been, he hasn't put up that monster game that you're used to see Tyreek Hill put up as well, too. I have him at 100 yards and Kansas City winning at plus 234. I like the 2 together, and even that, you brought up Kelce. I even have him at 100 yards and Kansas City to win at plus 238. I mean, if you put $10, let's say, on one or both of them, you'll still end up being plus. So those are the 2 ones that I'm looking at. And I have my secret bet with Mecole Hardman. This guy is one of the fastest player in the NFL, but he is shadowed by Tyreek Hill. He is the type of player to change a game. He is the X factor for the Kansas City Chiefs today. I see Hardman having a huge game. And if you look back in the playoffs last year against the Buffalo Bills, he was one of the players that stood out the most in that game, because I believe he had to end around for about a 50-yard rush. And then he actually made a catch of 60 yards last year, Mecole Hardman. I see him being the X factor, and I even have him getting 70 yards and a touchdown at plus 1250. So like I said, I go for these because I believe in it. And Mecole Hardman should have a good game for me.
And again, so if you see what we're doing here, our little strategy, you know, Jerry likes to find these combination bets that have the chance to not only sock one out of the park, sock it out of the building into the parking lot outside the stadium, you know, talking about these plus 3,300s, these plus 1250s, these combination bets. Whereas, so if you have, you know, combination bets, and as always, we remind you, we're not talking about laying $50 on these combo prop bets. We're talking small little wagers for the chance to really bring home a massive ROI. Whereas I like to play a little bit more of a conservative, where I think there's a good chance that we could get a nice return on our investment. So if you followed our picks, we'll lay them out for you again before we sign off. So I'm going with Travis Kelce, at least 71 receiving yards, minus 114, betonline.ag. Jerry, I'm going to move on to my second player prop bet, this time on the Buffalo Bills side of the equation.
Okay.
This is running back Devin Singletary, who basically was very quiet all regular season, the first 12 games anyway for Buffalo. You know, he had 495 rushing yards, 25 against the Chiefs, 2 touchdowns, like nothing that blows you out of the water or that suggests that this guy's going to take the game over. However, Singletary has since become a major focal point for the Bills' offense.
Finally.
Right? Exactly. So let's look at his last 6 games as a bit of a sample size. 456 yards on the ground, 7 total touchdowns, 6 rushing, 1 receiving. Last week, Singletary, 16 carries, 81 yards, 2 touchdowns, and the Bills, we know what happened. They just wiped the floor with Bill Belichick and Mac Jones and the Patriots. They beat him by 30 points in the wild card game, right? So, like we were talking about earlier, both offenses are extremely explosive. I don't think the Bills are going to want to control the ball and keep it away from Mahomes as much as possible, especially when they play on the road. I think that's going to be their strategy. As we know, you never want to trade field goals for touchdowns when you play high-octane offenses.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Bills are going to want to control that ball. They're going to want to keep it out of Mahomes' hands for as long as humanly possible, and we know Josh Allen can score. So I think Devin Singletary will get a lot of touches today, giving him plenty of chances to score at least 1 touchdown.
I like that.
BetOnline.ag, small price, minus 125 to score a touchdown at any point.
Ooh,
At any point. So that's the direction I'm taking you with Devin Singletary today.
For the Buffalo Bills, to get a touchdown, I like Gabriel Davis. He just catches that one pass that you think is going to Diggs or even Isaiah McKenzie, who's been on fire for the Buffalo Bills in the last 4 or 5 games. He's been the second favorite target of Josh Allen. And Gabriel Davis, he gets those 2 catches, but out of those 2 catches, usually one of them is a touchdown. And if I saw it correctly, he was 4-1 to get a touchdown today. So I plus 380 or plus 400 if I
for Gabriel Davis.
Yeah.
Plus 225.
Oh, plus 225. Okay. I thought it was a little bit higher than that, but yeah, plus 225. I even like that. I mean, it's double your money. It's going to be a high scoring game. A lot of players will get touchdowns. Diggs, he's been a little bit off lately. Last week, he didn't make, I think, 3 catches in 60 yards. Yeah. But Diggs, I don't think will get a touchdown. I think it might be Gabriel Davis, Singletary, heck, even Dawson Knox might be a great pick to get a touchdown as well too. He got 2 last week. I wouldn't be shocked if he gets another 2 this week as well too. If you want to throw a little bit of a little Hail Mary for that play.
I like that. I'm looking at Josh Allen 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. According to ProFootballReference.com, Josh Allen has 6 rushing touchdowns this year. What's up, Brandon LaBelle? My Bills all the way. He has 6 rushing touchdowns this year. If you like Josh Allen to score a touchdown, plus 140 at BetOnline.
That's a great bet.
Come on, a little quarterback sneak, a little end route, a little bootleg maybe for big body Josh who can run the ball. He doesn't shy away from contact. I'm going to throw Josh Allen for a touchdown plus 140 at betonline.ag to go with my Devin Singletary minus 125 touchdown. At least a touchdown at any point in this evening's game.
I'm with you on that. I think he needs to control the game. It all depends on his play if Buffalo will win. And I think even the rushing yards, I think he'll get over a 40 or 50 rushing yards. I didn't see the numbers on that for his rushing yards, but I wonder if there's a matchup against him and Mahomes as well too. But I see Josh Allen getting a lot of rushing yards today. If Singletary can't get it going, Josh Allen will take the game into his hands or use his legs to win the game for the Bills.
What number do you like for Josh Allen today?
I like him to get at least 50 yards. I see him getting a 50-yard game. He's put up some good numbers rushing this year, and I see 50 against Kansas City.
So what you could do, like at betonline.ag, you can build your prop bets, right? So you could take a Josh Allen prop bet and say, well, I think he's going to get at least 50, because if you go on right now, if he's going to get at least 54, rushing yards, Josh Allen in the game today, it's minus 125. If you think he gets at least 64, it goes to plus 100. So there's room to build your prop bets within betonline.ag, which you could do. You're not necessarily handcuffed to any one of these. You can go in there but of course understand that they adjust the odds accordingly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't think you're going to try to pull a couple of fast ones here. These guys are pretty sharp on their end, right? So let's get to it. Let's get to a side. We know it's a 1 point spread. The money line is probably the place to put your money. The Bills +1 minus 107. If you like the Bills on the money line, it's a wash. Minus 102 Bills on the money line today. So you got a side for me?
I'm going with Kansas City. They're just a different beast when it comes to the playoffs. They put up points whenever they want to. If you look at last year's matchup, Buffalo scored the first touchdown. Buffalo had the lead, and bang, bang, bang. It was 21-7 or 21-8 at the halftime. So, I mean, Kansas City just puts up points extremely fast. One bet that I might just touch, I wouldn't be shocked if this game actually goes into overtime as well, too. And I believe the overtime is at plus 800 or plus 850. And usually overtimes are very high. You'll see them at plus 1,200, plus 1,600. This one's only at plus 800. So, I mean, hey, if you believe it might go into overtime, it's the playoffs. A lot of games do end up going into overtime. So it's not a bad bet. Of course, at plus 800, that means the percentage of it happening is a little bit lower, but still plus 800 for overtime game is pretty low.
So listen, this is going to sound like a real betting loser here. I should be 8-0 against the spread.
You should be. No, you should be.
Jerry,
should be 8-0.
Wants to punt in the playoffs, Jerry, for a touchdown. What are we doing here?
But then you realize the Packers are ranked 32nd in special teams.
I know.
Damn it.
I mean, they did. I couldn't believe. Matt LaFleur was 9-0 off, like everything. Like they lost to he finally gets to an NFC Championship game at Lambeau that he hosts, and he fucking loses to Brady last year. He gets back to hosting a playoff game at Lambeau. He loses to Jimmy G.
A guy who could have thrown basically 5 interceptions. I know. You should be 8-0.
Hey, how close were we? How to the Stokes? Who was we? Oh my God, we almost Stokes. Had the 7. Yes.
Oh, he just had to lift up his head. I don't know if you saw the play. He literally just had to.
He didn't. If he ran in front of the target, he picks it. It's a pick 6 all day, every day.
Yeah, and he had chances. I think he had 2-3 chances. It was.
Who was our guy? It was Savage, Darnell Savage.
But he left after the first half. That's what hurt us. He got injured after the first half, so he didn't play in the second half. But
because it was Eric Stokes if Eric Stokes runs in front of the receiver, the ball lands right in the numbers.
Yeah, and nobody's in front of him. That would have been a pick 6. That would have. It's the opportunity. See.
We had that. Well, we would have lost the game fucking anyways because the Packers lost on the money line.
See, that's why I think on one of my tickets, I actually took Aaron Rodgers to throw more passing yards than Jimmy G, which he did. But it was that interception that I was just waiting for. I mean, he did throw an interception. I'm like, Amos. Okay, Amos, that's their 5th cornerback, and he got an interception.
You guys watching right now, you guys got your best bets. Jerry and I have spent the last 33 minutes going over both games. For those of you that are late to the party here, I'm going to have to go through my iPad to go through some of my best bets. So let's start here. Again, best bets, let's start from the Rams and Bucks game. I'm going to go Stafford over 280 passing yards, minus 115. Both teams to score at least 24.5 points. That's at plus 275. Also liking Brady to throw to one of his favorite targets without Antonio Brown, no Chris Godwin. I think Gronk's going to be the guy. So at least 6 receptions for Gronk, minus 156. And I'm going to lay the 2.5 points. It's the Bucks minus 3. I'm going to buy the half point to bring it to minus 129. Small vig to lay. So Bucks minus 2.5. Those are my 3 plays. Jerry, a quick recap of your best bets for the Rams and Bucks.
Okay, so both teams for the Rams and Bucks to go over 24.5 points at plus 275. I like Van Jefferson to get 70-plus yards, a touchdown, and the Rams. The Rams win. You could take that off, and it just becomes plus 800, so I'll take that one.
Yeah.
Van Jefferson to get 70 yards. And heck, if you want, if you're feeling lucky, Van Jefferson, 120 yards, 1 touchdown at plus 3,700. I know it's crazy, but Robert Woods used to put up 150 yards, 140 yards. He took Robert Woods' position.
Mm-hmm.
Tampa Bay is going to be watching Cooper Kupp a lot. So I like that one. And just like you, though, I like Tampa Bay at -2.5, and I like the over as well, too.
All right, so let's get into the late game, the 6:30 kickoff. BetOnline.ag, Bills +1, Chiefs -1, -113, a total of 54.5 points. I think Travis Kelce shines in this game. At least 71 receiving yards is my number one best bet. Player prop at -114. Devin Singletary to score at least a touchdown in this game, -125. Plus money touchdown player props. Josh Allen to score a touchdown at +140. Jerry, what do you got?
I like that Josh Allen one. I'm with you on that one. I got Kelce getting 100 yards and the Kansas City win at +238. And I got Tyreek Hill getting 100 yards and a KC win as well, too, at +234. And also both teams to score over 24.5 points at +150. Those are my bets or prop bets for this one.
I like it. And
are you on Buffalo or Kansas City? Who are you going for in this one?
I'm on Chiefs.
You're on Chiefs? Okay.
Yeah, I've been on the Chiefs since about week 9, where I think, I've been saying this on TSN 690. I think they've been playing possum. I think we're so used to Patrick Mahomes playing a certain way. I think he's learning to play differently and not be as predictable. And I really do think the Chiefs have been kind of waiting in the weeds, hiding in the weeds, and now is their time to pound. So I like them a lot. I'm also big on futures because I think that's where the money's at.
Yeah.
I think today, plus 350 on the Chiefs today. I think it's worth I would put $25 down on the Chiefs, maybe $50 down on the Chiefs today.
You know what? That's actually a great idea because Bengals are playing, or whoever wins is playing the Bengals. Unless you believe the Bengals are going to the Super Bowl. I mean, that's not a bet to make. But the odds right now, that's a great bet, actually. I like how you see towards the future for the future bets.
Because if you put, let's say you put $50 down right now on the Kansas City Chiefs to win this game and to win the Super Bowl, $50 gets you $175 back. Yeah. So if they win tonight, like Jerry and I think they will, that plus 350 is gone. You'll never see it again. You'll never see it again.
Guarantee you it will be under plus 200. It might be plus 180.
I was going to say plus 175. If they beat the Bills tonight, I think it gets cut in half.
Yeah,
plus 175 or something like that, right? So if you like the Chiefs on a future, or to Jerry's point, maybe Buffalo, you're getting plus 400 there. So you could squeeze an extra $25 out on that same $50 bet if you like Buffalo, but who's going to win the game tonight? Jerry and I both like Kansas City.
But let's just, in my opinion, these games today will determine the Super Bowl in a sense. Both games, basically, whoever wins,
winning the Super Bowl.
No. Whoever wins this, or between Buffalo and Kansas City, is going to the Super Bowl. Whoever wins between Tampa Bay and LA is going to the Super Bowl. So
we're playing a very dangerous. We're already counting Joe Burrow, my friend. We're already counting him out. Be careful.
I mean, at a certain point, when does it stop, though? For a second-year quarterback, he's been on the last 6 games. It's just ridiculous.
I don't know if Burrow is mini Tom Brady. Tom Brady's going to his 5th. He's looking to go to his 15th conference championship game. If he beats the Rams today, that will be number 15 for this guy. I mean, were we not saying the same thing about Brady? Like, when is he going to slow down? Listen, I'm not saying Joe Burrow is going to rack up 6, 7 Super Bowl championships in his career, but I've already learned I'm not counting Joe Burrow just yet.
But you know what's funny too? Yesterday, Aaron Rodgers didn't throw a touchdown pass, right? He's tied second all-time with Joe Montana with 45 playoff touchdown passes. Who leads the NFL for most touchdown passes in the playoffs? Tom Brady, 85, 40 more than Joe Montana and Aaron Rodgers. How ridiculous is that?
What do you do with that? And then, you know what? I mean, he makes me cheer for him. What he's doing, he makes me, like, I watch him on Instagram and like, I don't know what he's done. Like, to me, he's made himself cooler as he's gotten older. And now, like, I'm cheering for the guy. I hate Boston teams. I hate Boston teams, man.
See, I'm not a Boston team, but I grew up as a Patriots fan, so I'm a big Tom Brady fan. When he left, I understood. But if you hear what all the players say about Tom Brady, he is the most gangster player that they've ever met, spoken to. He's a different breed, let's just say.
He is.
He's
He
44
really is.
years old, 45
And
years
look,
old, and look, he might win MVP. He led every stat for quarterbacks this year, except for wins. It's mind-boggling. He is Michael Jordan of our basically this generation.
enjoy the football this afternoon. It starts at 3. You can listen to both games on TSN 690. It's a doubleheader Sunday on TSN 690, and of course the 6:30 game, baby. Bills Nation. I know there are a lot of Buffalo fans in the Montreal market. I would listen. I'll be happy if my bet loses and Buffalo wins, just so you guys could be happy. Get to an AFC Championship game with Josh Allen. I believe Josh Allen is the real deal, and he will get the championships. He will get the Super Bowls. I really do believe it.
No, I'm with you on that. And Buffalo will make it one time. Winning, that's a different story because they did have their best teams, 20 years ago with Jim Kelly and all that, and lost 4 in a row. So, but we won't go back in time. But I'm
Bruce
with you.
Smith, Thurman Thomas, Jim Kelly, Andre Reed. Come on. Who gets to 4 Super Bowls in a row and you lost to Mark Rippon and the Redskins, Christ. Oh,
I know. But now the NFL, I'm excited for today. I'm excited to see what's going to happen.
Enjoy the games, brother. Don't forget, we'll be back here next Saturday, next Sunday to preview Conference Championship Weekend. For Gerry B, the Prop King, I'm Shaun Starr. Make sure to subscribe to our channels at YouTube, on Facebook as well. Leave your comments. And we'll see you next Saturday for another edition of your, I don't know, we got to come up with a name, Gerry.
We do. Hail Marys. I don't know. We'll come up with a name, Shaun.
Enjoy the games.